Is it possible to start an online business on Instagram and reach six figures using just quotations? Stay tuned to find out.
Being an entrepreneur sounds like, yes, another new client. I did it. But it can also sound like, I am really not understanding this technology, and I'm feeling so overwhelmed. Am I even cut out for this? That's why I started the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast, to help infopreneurs, coaches, and course creators who want to build a business online but are battling technology, overwhelm, procrastination, and even imposter syndrome. Think successfully, think differently, think bigger, and take action by learning tips from an array of business owners, all dropping knowledge on the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast. Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
What is up? What is up? What the hell is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? Welcome back to another dose of Instagram quotation business learning. I'm your Dark Horse host, Tracy Braitman, and I have been in the coaching, course creation, online space since like the 90s. So yeah, got a little experience under my belt, yet here I am still learning. And that's why I'm here, to share with you what I have learned and what I am still learning about course creation, coaching, entrepreneurship, infopreneurship, which begs the question, who are you? And to me, my friend, the answer to that is infinitely more important. You are a driven entrepreneur, more specifically, an infopreneur, either with or seeking coaching and online course model in your business. Or perhaps you're just hoping to have that very, very soon. Either way, you are here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart. Just start, level up with some great marketing, personal, or business tips and results. Got to have that results in order to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. So I want to hit you with another, I guess you can call it a case study. A case study of this six-figure Instagram business that blossomed out of bankruptcy and is using nothing but quotes. Yeah. So you could call this episode a six-figure Instagram business using nothing but quotes, or how to go from bankrupt to mid-six figures posting nothing else but what other people wrote. Wow, you don't even have to sit there and come up with the content. This is brilliant. You're going to check this out. So if I step back and think about it for a moment, if you had told me previous to this that it's possible to earn six figures by doing nothing more than posting other people's quotes, I might have told you it was a bit of a pipe dream. I might not have believed it. I would have been like, what? Yeah, how do you do that? But what do I know? Believe it or not, there is an Instagram account out there. It's called Stoic Reflections that has grown to 850,000 followers last time I looked at it, and is currently generating six figures of income, and has done so in under 3 years. The creator chooses some famous motivational quotes and he posts them every day. Now, of course, he includes some strategic hashtags to get some more traffic to them, which is smart. And once he had built a significant audience, he would turn around and created two simple products that have, ready for this, generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue. Yeah. His name's Alexander. Now, he doesn't let his last name out there. He's trying to keep himself quiet. He's the man behind the popular Instagram account, Stoic Reflections. He went bankrupt a few years ago. I think it was 3. And he took up some philosophical meditations to see him through a very tough time. And then he began posting those mantras online and grew enough of a following, and now makes a full-time living from his Instagram account. Now, why am I telling you this? I think I'm telling you this because, wow, right? I think there's a lesson here. When things seem really bad, ask yourself, what's good about this? And you've heard me talk about this before, where I have taken the time to stare back into the abyss of my worst times in life. And they don't have to be the worst times in your life, but sometimes those are the times when you can find the most magic. So when things are really bad, ask yourself, what's good about this? Here's another one. Let's try this one. Ask yourself, how can I use this experience to help others? Let's go one more. How can I use this experience to help others and maybe even build a business? Yeah, there you go. little bit of wisdom, little stoic wisdom there for you. Now, Alexander, like I mentioned earlier, doesn't use his last name on his Stoic Reflections account because he wants to keep his identity separate from that account. Since he doesn't show his face on his page, it's not he's really not your usual typical Instagram influencer. And yet, he's seen the same kind of growth some of the more successful personalities on the platform has seen. Stoic Reflections, like I mentioned earlier, has gained over 850,000 followers, and he's done that in less than 3 years. And he does that by sharing the tenets of Stoicism, the ancient Greek philosophy that preaches an indifference between pleasure and pain. Now, Alexander shares the quotes that he feels resonate with the Stoic philosophy that his fans that he would enjoy. And here's the interesting thing. He finds most of his fans are business-minded people. Huh? You can start to see some alignments here, right? Now, Alexander, to this day, he doesn't post ads or sponsored deals. Why? Dude, you got 850,000 followers. You could probably get some killer deals. No, he thinks that would dilute the integrity or the virtue of his Instagram account. Yeah? He said there's a lot of brand equity that he would lose just by taking on ads. Yeah, that's a tough road to hoe, right? He's standing his ground on his integrity. And then last year, Alexander created 2 simple products that have generated him hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue, allowing him to earn a full-time living from his motivational Instagram account. Now, let's step back here for a moment and let's step back before this Instagram account. What was Alexander doing before? Well, before Stoic Reflections came into life, a 28-year-old Alexander ran a business, and he was selling inexpensive products, that were imported from overseas, and he was turning a nice profit. I don't have the exact numbers of his profit. He didn't share them. Alexander was successful enough. Let's put it this way. He was able to travel as much as he wanted to, travel a great deal, to be honest. And he lived in one of those expensive luxury apartments until, the bottom fell out of his business. And we've heard this story a number of times. And he ended up going from the 34th floor in a luxury apartment, that deep, long fall to the bottom to a 5-bedroom roommate situation. Yeah, right? Usually the story is the other way around. Now, here's the downfall, really. It seems that as fast as he was pocketing the money that from the aforementioned e-commerce business that he had built, importing those inexpensive products, he was spending it even faster, right? His debts were in the 5-figure range. And then when his business dried up, he found himself with no income. Oh, yeah, of course the debt doesn't go away, does it? Yeah. So when this happened, in order to cope with the situation, Alexander began studying Stoicism. Now, this was 2019, and he did this to help him through that tough time in his life. Now, Alex said it teaches you resilience and the dichotomy of control, right? Stoicism, what does it teach you? It teaches you the resilience and the dichotomy of control. It teaches you what you can control and what you cannot control. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Alexander initially created Stoic Reflections to keep himself accountable. He just did this for himself. Started posting quotes every day, quotes like, "Intelligence without ambition is like a bird without wings." Now, he did this so he could try himself to live up to those very words of wisdom. So basically, Stoic Reflections started as a hobby, not really a business. And he quickly discovered ways to cultivate his audience, right, in these self-help, motivational corners of Instagram. And before too long, he found himself with about 100,000 followers. And he did this using hashtag discovery. Yeah, this is a little tactic you might want to try out. Now, because Alex favored the shorter quotes that were easily legible even on a square grid, he inverted the traditional black text on the white background. To make his post stand out, he flipped on its ear. He did a white text on a black background. Now, there were other accounts on Instagram that were similar to his, so Alex looked for ways to be different, to differentiate himself amongst his peers. You've heard me talk about this. Be yourself, be different. And he noticed that the popular hashtags, like hashtag wisdom and hashtag philosophy, would have over like 1 million posts. No. That competition was simply too high for him to compete. So he would strategically use hashtags that had fewer posts, right? We're talking about aggregates under 10,000 or less. And that way, even though he wasn't getting all the initial eyes right out of the gate, his posts would get boosted to the top, right? So if he's going for 1 million and he can only get a few thousand, he would never see the reach he wanted. However, when he picked some strategic hashtags, he could get to the top of those that aggregated less than 10,000, right? Now, this method works and allowed his count to grow to that 100,000 follower mark in the first year. This method was to further that method, he was posting every day. He would hashtag every post, and he found himself growing about 100 new followers a day. A day. That's pretty damn good if you ask me. All right. I'm not a big Instagram user. I get a couple thousand followers. I don't make an aggressive tactic to do this like he was. But it's given me some food for thought. Maybe if I start hashtagging some of my content for those folks that are at the next level and stop competing against the big boys. Yeah. Now, every once in a while, when a famous person would share his post, he would sometimes get thousands of new followers instantly. So by his second year, his page was well over 400,000 followers. What? Who wouldn't like to have that? Now, that's when he started getting the big requests from big brands and posts to sponsor content. And just like I mentioned earlier, he refused them. And he refused them on the grounds it would take away from what he was doing. Then, all right, he's taking this time to build all this stuff. Alexander created 2 new products of his own. One was a digital cell phone wallpaper of famous philosophical and motivational quotes, right? So obviously this caters right to his audience. He's taking all the tips you've heard me give you time and time again here and leverage them ingeniously, if you think about it. He would sell a pack of 55 quotes, downloadable wallpaper, and it would sell for $9. No big deal. $9. Easy sell. Next, he created a calendar rooted in those same ancient Stoic beliefs that help you harness the concept by visualizing your life week by week. That's actually one of the Stoic concepts. So it actually moved him to create this product to help people see it day by day, right? Now, according to its description, you could buy a digital copy for $19. Okay. You could buy a printed copy for $39 and a framed version for $79. Now, that's thinking a little bit outside the box. How many of us frame our calendars? Yeah, not many. But if you consider the content that's in there, it's very frameable. It's these 2 simple products that he created that have now allowed him to make a full-time income with this part-time Instagram hobby. Now, he doesn't want to publicly disclose the exact revenue number he's earning, but let's put it this way. Alex has made in the mid 6-figure range from the sales of his wallpapers and his calendars. And he's able to run his Instagram account with very little overhead because, well, his products are digital and he could do print on demand. That's everywhere, right? And he actually spends about 30 minutes a day preparing the post, interacting with his commenters, and which is brilliant. There's another tip there for you. Even though he's got 850,000, he still spends a few minutes a day interacting with his audience. Alexander's added, he's not sure if Stoic Reflections is going to be a long-term career for him. Obviously, it's paying the bills now, but he is considering introducing new products for the account, such as an app, right? And who knows where it will branch out from there. Really, I want you to walk away from one gleaning idea, just glowing idea. He has taken a simple hobby that birthed itself out of, I'll call it a tragedy, out of a less than optimal time in his life. His bottom fell out of his business. His bills were all racked up. He was like, how do I deal with this? And he turned to Stoicism. He turned that into a hobby, turned that hobby into a mid 6-figure business. It really does make you think of the possibilities if you think about it. What is it you're doing that is a hobby that maybe you could turn into a small business? Maybe you could turn that hobby into a course. Maybe you can turn that hobby into physical products. Maybe you could do both. You could teach other people how to do it. And for those that don't want to learn how to do it, they can buy what you make. Think about it. And in tomorrow's episode, well, it's actually not tomorrow's, it's the day after tomorrow's episode. One of the things that we're all going to need is some sort of lead magnet for those businesses. And I'm going to talk about a multi-purpose, my tongue just tripped over my eye teeth again, and I can't see what I'm saying. A multi-purpose lead magnet for nearly any niche. You're not going to want to miss this one. And how do you avoid missing it? Yeah, that's right. You make sure you have that subscribe button hit. That way, next time the episode drops, it will push itself right on into whatever device you're listening to me on. And if you're not listening to me on a device, maybe you're listening to me on the website. Come on back. It'll be here then. But really, the best bet is to subscribe. And while you're down there, go ahead and leave a 5-star rating and drop in some kind words for the review. And tell me your thoughts. Right? And they don't have to be kind words. If you don't want to be kind, I don't mind. I embrace my haters as well, because if I have haters, that means I have lovers too. And if I'm completely honest, some of my haters have given me some really great ideas. They'll say something and I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Let me try that. And it works. So I can learn from my haters as well. So again, go on there, hit that subscribe button, leave us a 5-star rating, and put in some words in the review. Ask a question. I read every single one of these reviews, and I will make sure your question will get answered in an upcoming episode. All right, you get out there. You run your race. You get your results. And let me hear about them. Here it is, Tracy@darkhorseschooling.com. Tell me the tip or idea that you came away with, how you put it into action, and what results you gained from it. Who knows? Probably even bring you on the show and let you share your superpower with my audience. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you as I always do. Think successfully and take action.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.